What do you want, Donald? The kids and I were about to take a drive before you started blowing up my phone.
Quit your bitching, Barack. Just wait till Joe gets in the call. I got something fun planned.
Yeah, that's what you always say before I end up spending an hour listening to you and Joe arguing over the stupidest of shit.
It's not my fault Joe's a moron, Barack. All he ever wants to do is two Jay-Z swap everything. Oh, speak of the devil, enjoy your 12-hour nap, jackass. I'm surprised you didn't fall asleep at the wheel again.
Christ, it took this fat ass less than 2 seconds to start his shit again.
Cry me a river, Joseph. I shouldn't have to call 10 times to wake your brain-rotted ass up.
Enough from you two. I'm already getting a headache from this shit. Donald, please explain what was so important to spam calls like a pregnant chick looking for her baby's father.
Or / oddly specific Barrack. Don't tell me Michelle's knocked up again.
Dude, she'll make you sell the Mustang if you have another kid. Better hope she falls down the stairs or something. Otherwise, your ass is going to be riding in a Dodge Caravan for the next 15 years.
Joe, what the actual fuck is wrong with you? And no, Michelle is not pregnant again.
Hey man, I'm just looking out for you. I don't want you pulling up to the meet in a Honda Odyssey with a screaming kid in the back seat.
Oh, really, Joe? I'm surprised something like that doesn't get those dusty gears in your head turning.
Can you just tell us why you called dickhead?
Haha, you changed the subject a little too quick. But anyways, I figured since Joe's car is in the shop like always, and I really don't care about what Barrack was about to do, we could make a tier list. I found this nice JDM starters list.
Bro, I really don't feel like listening to you two argue over some cars right now.
Would you rather listen to your kids argue over who gets to ride shotgun, or maybe what coffee shop they want to go to?
Fair enough. What's first?
Yeah, I knew that would work. Makes me glad that my kids prefer crack instead of coffee. But anyways, looks like the first car we have on the list is the Acura, our ESX solid A tier in my opinion. While a bit basic in the design, it's got some reliability, not to mention it came with a manual option.
Oh, how did I already know Joe was going to simp for the rebadged Honda? Joe, these things came with hardly any power to them. The design looks like crap. And the worst thing, front-wheel drive. This thing is a B tier at best.
Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, king of the worst takes imaginable. Donald, they may not have shipped out with crazy horsepower, but don't forget how much boost these things can handle. You can easily push over 400 horsepower with the right build. I remember McCain took me for a ride in his 2006 or SX, and that thing was a beast.
Oh, sure, just cough up a couple grand for a turbo kit. The only big redeeming factor of this car is that you can find them relatively cheap. And I know Joe mentioned the manual transmission, but if you get unlucky and happen to own an automatic, then you're going to have to push less power or risk killing the transmission. The K20 engine is good. Don't get me wrong, but good luck driving one that hasn't been beat to hell.
The Type S model didn't even come with an automatic option, dumbass. This is a A-tier car, Donald. A pretty good option for a beginner looking to build something fast and fun.
Fine, but right now it's bottom A. Compared to some other things on this list, it shouldn't even be in your first 5 picks, but keep simping for your Acura. But next up is a slight improvement, the Honda Prelude.
Always wanted one of these. Not only does it look better, they came with the dual wishbone suspension for taking corners. These things can handle any kind of corner you throw at them.
Unfortunately, it can't handle as much boost as the RSX, but if you know what you're doing, you can squeeze at least 300 horsepower out of this thing. But if you get lucky and find one with that badass H22, then you're in for a world of fun.
Yeah, honestly, the main selling point for me is the looks. This car has always looked amazing in its design. Combine that with the decent aftermarket support, and you have a pretty decent starting car. Sometimes they're hard to find, but for what you get, I'd say it's A tier right above the RSX.
I can live with an A tier. But now we're greeted with one of my personal favorites, the Toyota Celica.
Oh yes, the #1 car for white trash moms trying to be cool. I swear to God, every time I've seen one of these on the road, it's always being driven by some trashy woman or some punk kid who's one sneeze away from blowing the thing up.
Donald, I swear to God, if you disrespect the Celica again, I'm going to punch you in the goddamn throat. Not only do they look sexy as hell, but they're a nice little zippy car to have fun in. You're not going to be gapping anything crazy, but at least try to respect what Toyota was trying to do here.
What were they trying to do here exactly? Make a sports car for people who are afraid of sports cars, Face it, Barack, these things don't even have half of the aftermarket support as the other cars on this list. I don't see many people building these things for a reason, and that's because there are better options. See tier.
Yeah, Barack, I am kind of with a fat ass on this one. They're cool cars for what it's worth, but compared to the other cars in this list, the Celica falls short.
Whatever, you pricks just aren't seeing the vision, and that's fine. I'll tolerate a C tier, but if it was up to me, this would be in B tier.
Barack, just be glad I was generous enough to say C tier. This thing really can't compete with half of the cars we have here, and for some reason, the owners think this piece of crap is worth $4 grand. Ridiculous.
Next up is the Mitsubishi Eclipse. Do I really have to explain this thing? S tier, a super iconic car if you can get your hands on one.
Super iconic piece of shit, maybe. Joe, this is not a S tier car. Every kid wanted Paul Walker's Eclipse RS growing up, but keep in mind, finding a RS is a pain in the ass. I always call these things a poor man's Z for a reason.
Oh my God, here he goes again, glazing
Joe,
the
don't
Z
start this
like
shit
it
with
was the second coming of Christ. You do know people are allowed to like other cars, right?
Joe, I'm warning you right now, if you say one fucking thing about the Z, I'm going to cut your goddamn brake lines.
I was trying to talk about the
Wrong,
Eclipse.
just incorrect.
You're the one who brought up the Z. You can't go 5 minutes without glazing a damn VQ.
Joe, it's not my fault the Eclipse is outclassed. I swear to God, if I had a nickel for every time you chose to argue with me about this.
Well, if you did, you'd have enough to pay off those rims
Joseph,
you bought
I'm
with
warning
Klarna.
you.
Kind of funny that a self-proclaimed billionaire needs to make payments on
Wrong,
some goddamn wheels.
Enough from the two of you. I swear to God, if I have to keep listening to you two bitch about the same things, I'm going to pop you both in the mouth.
This dusty fuck started it,
Fuck
but
you.
Whatever. In truth, I don't think the Eclipse is a terrible car, but there's a few cars on this list that do everything the Eclipse does but better. I can settle with a B-tier entry.
It's a goddamn S tier, Donald. This car has tons of aftermarket support. I see people doing work and having fun with these things all the time.
And yet you'll never see one live past 200,000 miles.
Okay, fuck it, the Eclipse is going to top of the A tier. If Joe thinks it's S and Donald thinks it's B, then I'll make the deciding vote on A. Let's move on.
Oh, baby, now this is an Acura I'll stand up for. The Integra kicks ass.
I have to agree with you on that one, Don. This picture is the Type R, to be exact. It came with only a manual option for the car. Not to mention a nice limited slip differential.
It's ironic that this clown called the RSX a rebadged Honda, but spreads his cheeks wide open for the Integra.
Shut the fuck up, Joe. It's called the Integra because it takes integrity to drive. Something you wouldn't know a lot about if we're being honest.
Bitch, I've got more integrity in my left nut than you do in your entire body. Say, do you want to remind us why you kept inviting Jeff to all our car meets?
All right, I'm going to stop this before we end up spiraling down the rabbit hole. The Integra is our first S-tier car so far. I'm locking it in. The amazing look combined with its features and aftermarket support make it a legend in my eyes. Up next, we have
the 350Z. Gentlemen, feast your eyes on the best Japanese sports car for beginners.
Oh my fucking God, here he goes again.
Joe, shut up.
Barack, we're going to be here for an hour
Don't
so this
interrupt.
fat fuck can talk about his overrated piece of shit.
One word, Joseph. Say one more fucking word about the Z.
How about 2 words, dickhead? Let's start with oil consumption.
Consume
God,
these nuts,
why do I
Joe.
even
Try to
bother?
come up with anything else to complain about.
You know, it's ironic that you bend over for the Edgar car, but desperately try to deport any Mexican who even slightly pisses you off.
Keep it up, and I'll deport your goofy ass out as well. You're just pissed off because your piece of shit Toyota couldn't keep up with my Z.
No, I'm just sick of listening to a blown-out trumpet every time we go on a cruise.
God, it's
Car
over.
sounds like shit and you know it, dude, but you'll fight to the death to defend it because you got to stay loyal to Nissan.
Oh, you want to talk about loyalties? Let's talk about you getting all bricked up. Anytime you find a car that can fit a 2JZ inside of it, no one gets their nipples harder than you for that underpowered piece of shit.
Oh yeah, just change the subject instead of coming up with a better defense for your shitty VQ.
I got a good defense for it, Joe. How about we line it up and I'll wait at the finish line for your apology?
Guys, seriously, can we get back to the damn list already? This is exactly what I meant when I said I don't want to listen to you two argue over stupid shit.
I'm sorry, Barack, but this clown just won't stop
Go
dick
fuck
riding
yourself,
the Z
Joe.
every chance he gets.
Joe, you were instigating the argument as well, and to be honest, I'm kind of on Donald's side here. 350Z is an iconic sports car.
Haha, suck my dick, Joe. Even Barack agrees.
Donald, enough. I'm done listening to you two argue over this. So either talk about the 350Z or shut up and let me rank it by myself.
Well, I'll let Nissan's #1 dick rider explain the car since he's the self-proclaimed expert.
Joe, the only reason I'm letting that one go is because I already know where this car is going on the list. But the 350Z is and always will be one of the best Japanese sports cars to have, especially for beginners. With roughly 300 horsepower, tons of aftermarket potential, and one of the easiest drift cars to build, it belongs in S tier. I will not tolerate anything less.
Jokes aside, these things are pretty hard to get in good condition. Most of the time you'll find them beat to hell with crazy miles because the owners are allergic to taking care of their cars.
Joe does have a point, Donald. Finding one of these things in good condition is a pain in the ass.
That doesn't mean it loses credibility because of how the owners treat it. If that were the case, then every car would be in D tier because you can find a bad owner for every single one of these cars. The 350Z gets a bad reputation from some of the more common owners, but that does not reflect this car. And like I said, I will not tolerate anything less than S tier.
Oh my God, just put it in S tier already. I'm sick of hearing about your love for this thing. I don't even care at this point.
Okay, S tier it goes. Up next is the WRX. Honestly, these things are pretty mid in my opinion.
Excuse me, Barack? What on God's green earth makes you think that?
Yeah, Barack, it's very rare that I side with the annoying orange. But damn, dude, you got to be crazy to call the WRX mid.
I don't know, maybe I'm being a little too harsh on it, but it just has some glaring issues like head gasket leaks. I know it's a common joke to use for these cars, but if you do make those jokes, then clearly you've never had to deal with a blown head gasket. Just knowing that you either have to get rid of the car or spend days fixing it can really fuck with your head.
Shit, Barack, this sounds low-key personal. Joe, I for real think we just gave him Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Barack, you seem like you're speaking from experience. Did you used to own a WRX?
Well, back in 2004, I bought this exact one in Aspen White. Man, I loved that car. I remember Michelle could not get me to stop driving it, no matter what she tried, but one day I pushed it a bit too hard on the track, and boom, head gasket popped. Back then, I didn't know as much about cars as I do now, and I had to sell it to some punk-ass kid on Marketplace.
Barack, if something breaks on your car, it's part of the process. You can't really say you built something if you're not testing its limits. Things like that happen, man.
Yeah, Barack, I'm with Joe on this one. It's easy to say you love a car, but the true test is when something breaks. Keeping the vehicle alive and maintained is part of the fun and displays your devotion to the build.
You know, maybe I'm being a bit tough on this, but I gotta say, I miss that car. 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. All-wheel drive, 300 horsepower, all wrapped up in one sleek package. So I'll let you rank it, because thinking about it kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
It's an A-tier car. I say it goes above the Eclipse. It definitely looks better, pushes more power, and you just can't go wrong with all-wheel drive.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely a good car. It just requires a bit more attention than some other cars. And the only thing keeping it out of S tier, in my opinion, is the head gasket issues. But Barack, look on the bright side. You bought your Mustang a few years after you lost the WRX.
That's true. If we're being honest, I would have never got back into cars if it wasn't for the Mustang. So I guess there's a silver lining to the story.
All right, I'm going to move on before you both continue with this crybaby shit. Next up, we have a Toyota Supra. The picture shows a 1992 model.
It came with a supercharged option, if I remember correctly. That pushed it to about 232 horsepower, which is pretty respectable for the early 90s.
Oh, not only that, but it also had a 5-speed manual, and if you could get one directly from Japan, then it's possible to have one with that 2-liter twin turbo, which pushed about 276 horsepower.
Yeah, but you both are forgetting one thing. This is a starter's list, and Toyota Supras are not cheap, especially for top trim models. I'll admit this is an S tier, but only if you can find one for a decent price.
That's true. I'd say it goes bottom of S tier for now. The price does hurt the ranking a bit, but I couldn't sleep at night knowing the Supra was ranked anywhere but S.
Oh my fucking God. Look, I'm going to be honest here. The Honda Civic does not compare to anything we have on this list so far. Shove this shit in D tier, man. The most overrated car I've ever seen.
Oh, here he goes again, dude. We had like 3 seconds apiece before he starts his bullshit up again.
Joe, shut your crusty, dusty, fossilized ass up. I'm not about to listen to any defense for this car. The owners are obnoxious. The cars are always built like shit, and they sound even worse. This is the car you buy when you're broke as fuck.
Keep talking and I'll slap that orange spray tan off your fat ass face. People build these cars not only because they're affordable, but because the aftermarket support is massive and they're easy to maintain.
Yeah, I don't really care for the Civic too much, but Donald, didn't you say that you can't judge the car by the owners?
Yeah, typically that rule applies. Until you're stuck at a stoplight next to some kid with his obnoxious fart box of an exhaust. Don't get me wrong, these cars are reliable. You could mix a can of baked beans with your oil and the car would still drive you home, but they're basic as hell. And even you two can admit that when you go to a car meet, you don't want to see 30 Civics in a row.
Yeah, I can name another car with a shitty sounding exhaust.
Joe, I promise you, no one would look for you if you happen to go missing.
All right, listen up. Enough from the two of you. Now, let's be clear. This is a B-tier vehicle. It's affordable. It's reliable. But it just doesn't have that wow factor that some of these other cars bring to the table.
Whatever. Too high of a ranking if you ask me, but next is the 3000 GT. Pretty sexy car, to be honest. The top model boasted an impressive 300 horsepower, and it had all-wheel drive.
Yeah, but trying to find a VR4 is like trying to find your tax records. Borderline impossible.
You know what's not impossible to find? Dozens of videos of you sniffing children, you jackass.
Tough talk from the guy who redacted his name from the files you said you'd release almost 2 years ago.
Okay, I'm stopping this before you two get this video taken
Nice
down.
fourth wall break.
Even if the VR4 can be hard to find the base model, and SLs still aren't bad to own. Yeah, you lose that all-wheel drive feature, but this car still pushes about 222 horsepower without the twin turbos. The only problems I see is that finding parts isn't easy, and the first generation was known to leak oil and even sometimes coolant.
I'm thinking A tier. Above the Eclipse, even with some of the issues it has, it's still a pretty fun car.
Above the Eclipse seems fair. Looks like the MX-5 or Miata is next up.
Easiest S tier of my life. This car is seriously my all-time dream car.
Of course, you'd want the most childish piece of machinery ever created.
Donald, what the actual fuck are you talking about?
The Miata is meant for two kinds of people, Joseph. Chicks and kids. Last time I checked, you're a grown-ass man.
Oh, I am so sorry they didn't think to shove an obnoxious-ass VQ in the engine bay.
It's not just that they're underpowered, Joe, but they're also small as fuck. And every generation after the first had those ugly headlights.
Donald, you're literally shitting on one of the most beloved cars in the car community. The Miata has limitless potential. I've seen people turn them into off-road vehicles. Low-riders, hot rods, and limos.
Yeah, God forbid Japan makes any other car that doesn't have a stupid fucking Z emblem on it, dude. I swear to God, you always act like this. Can't you just appreciate the Miata for being a zippy little car with literally unlimited aftermarket support?
You know what I can't appreciate, Joe? The fact that every time I see one of these things on Marketplace, they're always going for 10K with 200,000 miles. I swear to God, the owners are smoking more crack than your son. How are you supposed to call this a starter car when you could buy two cars for the same price as a clapped-out Miata?
Oh, as if buying a fucking Z is any cheaper? I just love to pay $8K for a fucked up Z with 3 different body colors, the cheapest eBay exhaust, and oil leaks out the ass. Stop trying to piss me off. This is an S-tier car, and I won't let you place it any lower.
My God, I can't believe you're over here simping for a car made for 13-year-old girls, but whatever. Do what makes you happy, Joseph, but don't come crying to me when you're 30K in debt.
All right, so I'm placing the Miata in S tier. Right next to the Z, because I honestly consider these two to be the best picks for the most fun. Just a shame the owners overvalue the price.
Oh, hey, look. It's a Civic with a sportier body. Oh, wait, my bad, that's a Del Sol.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I never saw the appeal in these things. They look good sometimes, but it's the same engine and suspension as the Civic with just a different body style.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you too on this. It has a few key differences that honestly makes it better than the Civic in my opinion, like a convertible top and a sportier design. Not to mention it's a two-seater. I'm going to put this in B tier right above the Civic. I can't see this competing with anything else in A tier. But this next Civic is the best one on this list in my opinion, the Civic EG4. Not only does it look the best, but it's also a three-door car, which I happen to think is really cool. You'll most likely have to import it from Japan, but you'll get the perk of that right-hand drive.
And I won't lie, this thing isn't bad for what you get. It's pretty popular to do engine swaps on these things. It just sucks that I don't see them very often.
Definitely better than the other two on this list. I'd say it goes in A tier. Just above the Eclipse, but under the 3000 GT.
Well, there's your JDM starters list, Donald. I have to say it's not bad, even if it took forever.
It only took this long because this orange prick spent 5 minutes glazing the Z like it was the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's it. I'll be over in 5 minutes. I'm going to throw a jack. Stand through your fucking windshield.